Hi, it's Michelle Tempesta from decisionMe. I'm here with Susan DiClemente, Master Certified Coach. She's helped countless women in science build and refine their leadership and communication skills. Susan, can I ask you a few questions about decision making today?
Sure.
Awesome. Tell me about how your clients normally navigate decisions. And when they are ready to communicate that decision to their team, what's that one emotion they're feeling?
So navigating decisions is definitely something I do with my clients. And the decisions are, both ends of the spectrum. It could be something like I've been with my company over 10 years, but it no longer aligns with my core values. Is it time to leave? It could be I'm ready for the promotion. What opportunities do I need to seek to find that visibility to get that promotion? And they have a lot of my clients are analytical because they are scientists, and that is a strength, and it is also a derailer because they
Mm,
get caught up in the thinking about all their options.
right.
So when they finally do come to a decision, whether that is, you know, do they need to move on from their company, or if they're staying at their company, is there a decision around a project or a team or something like that that they need to then communicate to a certain audience? We work on that as well, right? How do you communicate that? Who is your audience? Really getting them to the point where they feel comfortable and confident with delivering the news, which is their decision.
Right. Right.
They still, no matter how confident they may be in the decision that we've come to, they still have this fear. And it a lot of times is around how they're going to be portrayed by
Mm-hmm.
whoever the audience is, whether it's an audience of one or it's a team that they're
Right.
sharing a decision with. It really is about fear. What are they going to think? Are they going to think I made the right decision? And so there is that element of fear, even though they may be confident that they made the right decision. There's always that inkling of what if, right? Because we're human,
Right.
and with humans, emotions come in,
Mhm.
and they can be messy and they can cloud things and make the waters muddy.
Yeah, you just brought me right back to a few times in my life where I was on the cusp of announcing a decision and my confidence just wasn't there. Just wasn't. And I'd been through some process of decision making and I just was walking into a room and I knew I didn't have that confidence I should walking into the conversation. So thank you for that. So when a couple months ago when we first got on a Zoom call, I described to you and Amy what Decision Me was all about. And I noticed that you were sort of like, as I was describing, you couldn't even sit
Dancing.
still. Right. Tell me about what you were thinking at that point.
Sure. So, I use a lot of tools in my coaching business for decisioning. My favorite tool is a weighted pros and cons list. Now, most people, when they do pros and cons, they do just a straight list, right? Some people will do a ranked pros and cons list, but for me, I don't feel those provide accurate information. A weighted pros and cons list can give two or three or more items on a list can carry the same value. And so
Mm,
you shouldn't have to rank them and sort of force that bell curve, if you will. And so we use a weighted pros and cons list. And I recall with one of my clients, she was making a decision and she had five options on this decision. Now you can imagine a pros and cons list for five options that were weighted. There was a lot of discussion around it, right? And it is a good tool. I stand behind it. And it is incredibly cumbersome because it is so manual. And if you change one item on the list or one value on the list, everything else gets rearranged.
mm, yeah.
And so when I heard about Decision Me's application, I thought, oh my goodness, this will eliminate the manual process. And it also sort of will take out that emotion. You know, we still have the emotions connected to it and the thinking of, well, did I get all the pros on the list? Did I get all the cons on the list? Did I value them accurately? Right. So there's still this second guessing for people because we're human. And so when I saw your tool and you explained how it works, I thought, wow, this really can be a game changer for people making very significant decisions and some not so significant decisions if you need a little help.
Yeah, nice. So when you're talking about the pros and cons list, I was talking to a woman a couple of days ago where she was trying to decide if she wanted to continue to live in Framingham or move to Waltham, and she had this like mental pro and con list that she kept ruminating on, even in the conversation with me. And I was thinking, the second thing on the list was balcony size. And I'm thinking to myself, well, isn't commute distance to work like the most important thing, and shouldn't that be weighted higher? And you can't do that in a mental pro and con list. You just don't have the mental capacity for it. And then when you get into spreadsheets, it just gets so clunky and hard to manage and change and edit on the fly. So yeah, decisionMe should solve all that. I believe it does. When you think about the difference between those two processes, is there a way you can quantify the process of using a decision spreadsheet versus going through an automated AI enabled system like decisionMe?
You know, I truly believe that what the automated AI brings to the table is a level of confidence for the decision maker,
Mm-hmm.
because it really does remove the emotion, which a lot of the emotion is based in fear,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Let's not, it is based in fear. We all have fears. Am I making the right decision? The what ifs, is this going to happen? Is that going to happen? Right. And I believe that decisionMe's application will remove that fear. And then you also talked about, the person who is making the mental pros and cons list. I call that mental clutter. Mental clutter is exhausting. It is exhausting. And it keeps you stuck, right? It keeps you stuck. It's hard to clear out of the clutter. I mean, think about your basement, right? If you happen to have a cluttered basement, like most of us, you don't want to go down there. When you go down there, you're like, oh, I can't find anything, right?
Or it wakes
Same.
you up at 3 a.m. Like,
That's right. That's right.
yeah,
Same thing with mental clutter.
yeah,
Same thing,
yeah.
right? And so I really think decisionMe's application will erase the fear, clear the clutter, and provide the user to take an action,
Mm,
because action is the only thing that moves us forward.
yeah, I love it. Awesome. Well, let's end it there, Susan. Thank you so much for your time today. We're looking forward to seeing you on June 20th at the Career and Leadership Conference in Worcester. I can't wait to hear your presentation and see how people enjoy using the decisionMe app at the conference. We'll see you soon.
Great. So excited. Take care. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Bye bye.
Bye.